we got to talk about Chicago. I don't know why Chicago can't get things in order. I'm not really sure what the heck is happening over there. Did they not pay attention to what was happening over there in New York as far as the migrant crisis? That New York is having problems, really, really not understanding how it is that they need to manage their migrant crisis. Chicago said, we ain't even got the money. We ain't got the money to really support our police force. We ain't got the money to really fix these neighborhoods. We ain't got the money to really put more cops on the street in order to be able to eliminate the crime and keep things down and all of that other type of stuff. But they decided that they really, really wanted to embrace the migrant problems. And honestly, before we get into the video, I'm curious as to why we are having this discussion in the first place about Chicago when they got bigger things to worry about. They got much bigger things to worry about than what the heck is going on with the migrant crisis. Make sure y'all get the likes up, y'all. Let's get it popping.
This is Chicago's very own WGN Evening News at 4.
Now here at 4 o'clock, more migrants arrive in Chicago as concerns grow over lack of housing and overcrowded police stations. Sources telling WGN several migrants have now been involved in altercations with officers.
Look at all of them people out there. Look at the tents. Look at how Chicago is becoming tent city. That's not even really supposed to be a thing in these Midwestern cities. Becoming a tent city in Chicago is not supposed to be the move.
In there this afternoon. Good afternoon to you. I'm Lourdes Duarte.
And I'm Ben Bradley. Thanks for joining us. As many as 4 migrants are now facing criminal charges. They're accused of threatening, even hitting Chicago police officers in the last 2 days.
WGN's Julian Cruz is live at the Harold Washington Library where he was trying to get answers from the mayor today. Did he have anything to say, Julian?
Well, Lourdes, he did not appear here at this event. According to a Chicago Public Library press release, he was scheduled to attend a community event here this afternoon. So far, at least, no sign of the mayor, who has yet
Nothing like the mayor going into another community event
to speak out on the matter, either to City Hall beat reporters or in a written statement. 12th District Chicago police officers about 6:20 this morning dealing with an increasingly tense situation, taking 2 alleged offenders into custody, police sources identifying the offenders as migrants. News Affairs calling the individuals in question offenders. The first individual allegedly taking property from the district, attempting to flee, we're told, while a second migrant allegedly battered a responding officer who sustained minor injuries, police say, transported to an area hospital in good condition.
The police need to feel secure in doing their jobs. They need to feel secure in the space that they're in.
Vice Mayor and 27th Ward Alderman Walter Burnett reacting to the alarming news, though he's not familiar with the details, he says. Others at City Hall expressing concern.
I think what we're seeing is a decrease in the conditions at the police districts. We're now at nearly 2,000 individuals across the 22 districts across the city of Chicago, and we are losing control.
2 other.
Wait. The migrants get to sleep at the police station? Am I missing something? So wait. Let me back this up really quickly.
We're now at nearly 2,000 individuals across the 22 districts across the city of Chicago, and we are losing control.
2 other.
Wait a minute. If that's the district, if these are the actual stations and the departments of police, are you telling me, y'all saying yeah in the chat? In the police station, yes, and the schools too. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Y'all not going to finesse me here. Are y'all telling me that migrants are sleeping and then being accommodated by the city of Chicago to actually go in and get shelter in the police stations and in the schools? Whoa. No way. No how. Get out of here, Sky. Seriously? They had every police station sleep outside in the Cook County jail, but it looked like they sleeping in the inside too. I did not know that, Sharice. You saying this is old news. You telling me these cops ain't coming in stressed every day? Wow. Wow. Is this what we're using our tax dollars for? Wow. That's crazy.
Other violent or threatening incidents reported yesterday involving 12th District migrants, according to sources, raised.
That's insane. Do you see this? Oh, man. No way. No freaking way that this is real in the United States of America in a major city such as Chicago. This is not happening. This is not real. No way we living in the matrix like this. This is not true. This cannot be real. The news has to be lying to us. Everybody in this chat has to be lying to me right now. No way. And they get $1,200 a month, Yakar? What? So why are y'all coming up here on Fridays when we have opening up the panel, and y'all trying to tell me and convince me that Chicago is awesome and safe, and that everything is normal and is business as usual, and that what it is that we reporting on these platforms in the news is not accurate? Seriously? Wow.
Raising concern about what appears to be an untenable situation. The trouble starting 9:45 yesterday morning. Juan Marquez Vienna, 20 years of age, arrested and charged, according to News Affairs. Vienna now facing 1 misdemeanor count of criminal trespass to property and 1 misdemeanor count of assault. About 4 hours later, more tensions. Ana Rondon, 20 years of age, arrested.
Not Ana Rondon. Ana Rondon is in there causing a disturbance, and she getting paid for her disturbance too? And they beating up the police? All right, people of Chicago, I'm curious. People of Chicago, I need to know. I need to know, my Chicagoans, are you happy with how the city is being managed, considering that you guys have voted in a new mayor that apparently, on the outside, seems to be worse off than Lori Lightfoot? I need to know, my people in Chicago. I need to know what's going on out here in these streets. Not Ana Rondon is out here running a oh God. How can you charge people with battery? And we don't even know who these people's real names are. They could have came over here and made up any kind of name whatsoever.
In charge with 1 misdemeanor count of battery against a 12th District officer. We tried several times today to reach Mayor Brandon Johnson for comment. Aldermen we talked to anxious to hear a more detailed plan to address what many, including Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, has called a long-term crisis. Now, migrants at the 12th District talking to us off camera, and they say starting after Labor Day, they were woken up at 5 a.m. and they say that they were forced to leave the building with their belongings standing out on the sidewalk for hours. And they say that when they went back into the building, that there was no discernible sign that there had been any sort of cleaning at all.
And we giving them cleaning, and we letting them sleep, and they able to use the bathrooms and all of that. Good grief. Unreal. This cannot be an American city. Meanwhile, in the same vein, while we're having a migrant crisis over there and they can sleep in all of the buildings, this is what happened last night in Chicago.
I'm Asal Razai, live in the newsroom as we follow a police investigation into 4 overnight robberies. At 10:30 last night near Lawndale and 54th Street, 2 armed men.
Everybody in the chat, y'all tell me, do y'all know where Lawndale and 54th Street is? If you from Chicago, if you in Chicago, if you hang around Chicago, if you visited Chicago enough, you went over there and you seen and you kicked it with your homies and you spent an extraordinary amount of time in Chicago. Are y'all familiar where 54th and Lawndale Street is, where they had overnight 4 robberies and apparently 39 different shootings in the city?
robbing a victim as he was parking, getting out of his car. He was shot in the ankle and robbed of his wallet. We're told he's in good condition this morning. Then less than an hour later, 3 more robberies. One as a woman was closing down a restaurant near Lawrence and Lincoln. The other just blocks away as another victim was closing down a bar. No weapons seen in those instances, but a couple minutes later, police say 2 armed men robbed a liquor store near North and Campbell, demanding money from the clerk. So far, police not saying if any of the robberies are connected. So
this is insane. This is insane. Honestly, listen. Are y'all okay with this? I'm just curious. My people in Chicago, what up though? Shout out to Love C. She is definitely going to be called to the front of the congregation because you are from Chicago. These are the breaks. Shout out to Chicago. But I do have a heartwarming story that somebody sent to me inside of my email today of what's going over here in Detroit. Listen, they say that Chicago and Detroit is supposed to be sister brother cities. That's our long lost cousin over there. It's different over here than it is Chicago. I'm going to tell y'all honestly. And this is the honest truth. It's different over here in Detroit. Shout out to all of my dope Detroit people that's evolving. I'm going to be reading the super chat shortly. I see what's happening out here in these streets. I'm in the streets. I see the change. I see the evolution of the city. Let me give y'all a little bit of good news of what's happening over in Detroit.
Now to a multi-million-dollar donation from the Gilbert Family Foundation, promising to bring a new rehabilitation center and research institute to Detroit. Dan and Jennifer Gilbert announcing the $375 million gift to build 2 facilities aimed at helping people recover from strokes and finding a cure for a rare genetic condition. 7 Action News reporter Darren Cunningham shows us what the investment will mean for Detroiters in need of specialized care.
This green space across from Henry Ford Hospital.
Wow, look how beautiful.
It's one of the sites the Gilbert family.
Look how beautiful the city is becoming. Green space. Places where you bike. I spend a little bit of time on Belle Isle driving a 96 Impala all around the city. I said, man, this city is evolving. I am loving what it is that I'm seeing over here in Detroit. Shout out to my girl, Erica's Classy Climb. She going to be stopping through. She in the city. She going to be in the city, right? She coming through tomorrow night so we can go and kick it tomorrow afternoon and we going to have a conversation. We're going to do some recording. Shout out to Dan Gilbert doing some great things in the city.
Family Foundation has pledged to invest hundreds of millions of dollars to build what they say will be state-of-the-art facilities.
We are proud to announce that the Gilbert Family Foundation will be investing nearly $375 million.
This morning, Dan and Jennifer Gilbert announced 2 projects near and dear to their hearts. They're funding the building and operation of the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, an inpatient rehabilitation center. They say it will have 72 beds at Detroit's Henry Ford Hospital. Back in 2019, when Dan Gilbert suffered a stroke, he says he sought care at the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab in Chicago and that it had a personal impact.
We also believe that every Detroiter should be able to access the best health care and benefit from the most promising medical research.
They are also building the Nick Gilbert Neurofibromatosis Research Institute on 3rd Street. It's a partnership with Henry Ford Health and Michigan State University in honor of their son Nick, who died in May after a lifelong battle with a rare disease.
Our family is not unique in having medical issues, and we are proud to be able to help others navigate those challenges.
Henry Ford Health CEO Bob Riney.
It means new professional jobs coming to our city. It means hope and new research, which means new cures.
And for Detroiters who need rehab services but have limited or no health insurance coverage, the Gilberts also announced they're establishing a $10 million endowment, a key component to the initiative, according to Detroit City Council President Mary Sheffield.
The opportunity in itself is always great. To have this facility here is great, but the access to that facility is even more important to Detroiters. And so to have this $10 million fund set aside to ensure that people who may not have health care coverage have access to rehabilitation services is critical.
The foundation says the donation will also mean expanded rehab services at Henry Ford Health's locations in Macomb and Wyandotte.
Shout out to Dan Gilbert. What I'm seeking to do, similar to what I did yesterday, is I also want to highlight the good that's happening when you guys send it to me, in the same way that I highlight the things that are egregious in our communities that we need to fix. Yesterday, I brought Detroit to the front of the congregation based off of what happened at a Coney Island overnight to a woman that tried to break up a fight in order to illustrate a point. But also, you guys sent me the same story, and so I had to throw this in here somewhere, somehow, in order to acknowledge the good and the things that are transforming. I went to a new French restaurant that just opened inside of the Book Tower that they recently refurbished in downtown Detroit, and that's absolutely awesome. I also love what it is that Dan Gilbert has done and spearheaded here in the city of Detroit, and how this city is largely evolving and changing. And it has not gone without its own problems, because in every city there's going to be problems and trouble. But at the same time, it seems as though it's way more good and it's way more that's changing and evolving since I've been here my entire life than what I've ever seen in my lifetime. And so I love what's happening. I love being right here in downtown Detroit where my office is, where I'm doing this show right now. I love what's happening in the city. So I'm going to need all of the people over in Chicago, everything that's happening in Oakland, everything that's happening in San Francisco, everything that's happening down in D.C., pay attention to what's happening over here in the city and how we've evolved and how we've changed. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're going to keep on running it up. Shout out to Dan Gilbert and everybody that's participating in the growth of the city. I love what's happening down here.